Good morning, folks. Kelly Kyle here with the law firm of Kyle, Wynn and Associates. I'm here talking with you as I do every Monday morning. Usually we're talking about nothing but the serious business of estate planning and things like that. But this morning we're going to have a little fun, as we frequently do here. I mentioned in the first part of the program I have my good friend Mike Marsh, who is a repeat visitor. And Mike, tell the folks what your official title is.
I am the founder and director of the Natchez EuroFest, Classic European Automobile and Motorcycle Show.
And how long has that Natchez event been going on?
This year we will be in our 5th year. As you mentioned earlier, it is an outgrowth from the Renaissance EuroFest, which is held in October at the Renaissance at Ridgeland, which is 12 years old.
So the Natchez show took off about 5 years ago and has continued to be a strong performer for the last several years. Of course, last year, like a lot of things, we had to cancel it as a result of COVID.
Yeah, that was no fun, but I'm glad we were going to be able to go forward this year with a complete open-air show. All events are going to be held outside on the bluffs of the beautiful Rosalie Mansion, and we're really looking forward to it.
What effect do you think canceling the show last year had on this year?
Well, this is going to be one of the first significant shows in the southeastern part of the country to be held, and I noticed early on we got a lot of first-time entries from far away. We've got a guy coming from Michigan. We got people coming from Tulsa, Dallas, Houston, a lot of cars coming out of Florida, and, of course, Mississippi and Louisiana. So people are just, regardless of what you're into, they want to get out of the house and get some fresh air, and a beautiful way to do it at the Natchez EuroFest.
So if people are not familiar with the EuroFest show, again, either the one that's held here in October every year or the one in Natchez, what can they expect to see?
Well, first of all, it's an all-European show, and most cars have to be 25 years or older to be eligible, but we make a special class for newer cars of special interest, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Maseratis, etc., but they're newer cars, particularly of lower production numbers, and they're cars that you've heard of perhaps, but you may never have had the opportunity to see in your lifetime. And we've got a couple cars coming this year that I can't even pronounce the names of, let alone ever seen them. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, this show hopefully is going to be very beneficial to our friends down in the Natchez area. And holding on the line with us this morning, we have Marc Doyle. Excuse me, Mark, are you with us this morning?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Kelly Kyle here. As you know, I have Mike Marsh here in the studio. I'm looking forward to meeting you this weekend, but tell the folks what you do down in the Natchez area.
Well, Kelly, first of all, thanks a lot for inviting me to be on the show. We're looking forward to folks coming down here to Natchez next weekend and joining us for this great event that Mike was just describing. We're getting prepared for it right now. I mean, of course, have been for quite some time, but the event, as Mike mentioned, takes place on an absolutely spectacular location up on the top of the bluff at Natchez, and it overlooks the river and adjoins one of the most beautiful historic mansions in the Natchez area. Great place to come out and spend a few hours enjoying the car show itself. I was thinking when I was listening to you guys speak earlier that sometimes people ask me sometimes about the EuroFest that, well, I'm not all that into cars. But, the truth is that I've never seen a person at either the Ridgeland show or the show here who didn't walk on to the field and rapidly become mesmerized with what they were seeing. It isn't because we're all car people and any more than we're all balloon people or any other kind of people. I mean, it is that these cars, these vintage historic cars, are really literally works of art. They are industrial and mechanical art and design art, and everyone responds to an artistic masterpiece, whether they happen to know how to paint or sculpt or any of those things. So the point is that everyone enjoys looking at beautiful things And when you combine that opportunity along with the the ambiance that comes with a festival environment, with food and with music and with other people, etc. I mean, it just becomes a great deal of fun.
Absolutely. And, the point that you bring about these cars really being art, I mean, that really and truly is the case. Mike, there are going to be some other activities going on along with the EuroFest. Tell the folks, in addition to all these great cars, what can they expect to see there on the grounds?
Kelly, let me say first to everybody that it is free to the public. It is free to exhibitors. One of the only car shows in the country that I know of that can make that claim. So you can come and go as you like. And the show will kick off at 10 o'clock with the Hub City Highlanders Bagpipe and Drum Corps March and Concert. Then we will have ladies dressed in their festive gowns walking around the show grounds for photo ops with the public and with cars. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll have the Bulldog Formation flying team put on a tremendous air show right out over the river on the bluffs. These are 7 planes. They're smaller planes, but they've got pretty good size engines in them. They're very fast, and these guys put on a marvelous show. So that's another benefit. And then at 4 o'clock, we'll have our drive-up red carpet presentation of awards, which typically will take about an hour. And so we'll conclude the show about 5. But if you want to come early before 10 o'clock, please do so. The best time to take pictures of the cars without a lot of people around is from about 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely. When the drivers are arriving and getting their cars in place out on the showground, that's a great time to be there and actually see these beautiful cars in motion. Mike mentioned the Bulldog flight team, and Mike and I flew down to Natchez a couple of weeks ago for a fly-in event that they had down there. The Bulldog flight team members were there with their aircraft, and the show that they put on is right out over the river. It's not extreme aerobatics or anything like that, but they do put on a great show, and the Rosalie grounds are a great perspective for watching that show because they're flying a couple hundred or so feet over the river, and that's right at about the level that you're watching the show from. So
you couldn't ask for a better viewing spot of an air show.
Absolutely.
You couldn't ask for it.
Absolutely, and they do put on a great show. So, a lot of folks here in the Jackson area and other parts of Mississippi tell me, I've lived here 20, 25 years, and I've never been to Natchez.
Yeah, Natchez is the icing on the cake of the car show. Yes, the car show's nice. It's a first-time event for a lot of people, and it's wonderful, but Natchez is one of our country's most historical, enjoyable, affordable communities with a fabulous history. And, I encourage people to come to the show and spend some time in Natchez. Don't leave early Saturday night or early Sunday morning. Take your time and see some of these beautiful mansions. Maybe have a brunch or a breakfast and take your time and really see one of our country's charming cities.
Yeah, it's really a gem, and it's right here in our own backyard from the Jackson area. It's about a 2-hour drive. I've been told there are numerous ways to go to Natchez, but no matter which one you choose, it's going to take you 2 hours to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the beautiful way to get down there is take the Trace, and we'll have a caravan of cars leaving from Clinton at 2:30, probably 25, maybe 30 cars going down the Trace. Got a caravan leaving New Orleans via Baton Rouge coming from the other direction. They will combine in Natchez, and at 5 o'clock, we'll make a huge parade through downtown Natchez out to the showgrounds themselves.
Yeah, that's something to see in and of itself. I'm looking forward to driving down with the caravan that will proceed along the Trace, leaving at 2:30 from the Clinton Visitor Center. So if you're headed northbound on the Trace between 2:30 and 5 o'clock, you may see a big caravan of European cars headed south, and we will all be headed to the Natchez EuroFest. Mark, being in Natchez, I'm sure you would agree with me that, again, while a lot of people right here in this area may not have been there, Natchez is really an international destination, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the last several weeks, we have started to get riverboats again for the first time in a year. And, we're really just filled up with folks from right now. Natchez, as Mike was saying earlier, is a place that's has been welcoming visitors for a long time, and the whole, not only the community physically, but the folks who live here as well are all in the welcoming business, and we are greatly looking forward to this coming weekend when we'll see some return visitors and some new visitors as well, and we can't wait to show off our town.
Well, it's great to have you on the show with us this morning. We appreciate your perspective of the show from that of a Natchez resident. Mike, we've got a minute left here. Is there anything that you want to tell folks that we haven't covered?
Well, I think it's very important that we ask Mark if he's got his Porsche cleaned up to bring to the show.
What do you say, Mark?
He's a collector.
You know something? It's ironic that you would ask me that question, Mike, because actually that is the first task on my list of to-do things today.
Okay, good.
And when I get off the phone with you guys, I'm going down to the garage to get to work.
Well, you can't start that too early. Let me explain my situation. I'm planning on bringing two cars. I told Mike I'd bring the 87 Jaguar and the 1954 Rolls-Royce. But when I got to the storage unit yesterday, that Rolls-Royce did not want to cooperate. She didn't want to start, so may have to substitute the 1988 Bentley in its place. But that just kind of goes along with dealing with these classic cars. They can be a little temperamental, and you just bring whatever will drive that particular day.
Yep, absolutely. And
well, good luck to you. We're going to see all sorts of exciting things.
Absolutely. Mark, I will look forward to meeting you in person on Friday or Saturday. Mike Marsh,
likewise.
Thank you for being here this morning. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you.
Kelly Kyle here with the law firm of Kyle, Wynn and Associates. I'll be back to talk with you next week about those more serious estate planning topics, but I'm going to have a great weekend in Natchez, and I hope you have a great one wherever you decide to spend it. Have a great week.